Good morning, it's Florida, it's 69 degrees. Yeah, anyhow, a while back on a previous video, I did a little snippet on about how when you take items back from Amazon, they send you to Kohl's, and I told them about how it's a great marketing thing to get you in the door. They give you 25% off, yada, yada, yada. Grid for, you can see that here, I think, or there, anywhere. But, so I just did it. I had to take back another part that I didn't need to Amazon. Got my 25% off coupon, and I bought myself a shirt. Now I know what you're thinking, Don, if you just bought yourself a shirt using your 25% off coupon that you got from Kohl's for choosing their outlet to return your Amazon package, why do you still have a 25% coupon in your truck? Let's be talking about this guy. Well, that's because, much to my dismay and my chagrin, and other weird adjectives we don't use for disappointment nowadays, that 25% off is only good for things you don't want. Basically, non-name brand items. So you want to get yourself a Levi's shirt like I did? Doesn't apply. Adidas shirt? Doesn't apply. Hey, I got a package at the UPS store. This wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't get a phone call in the middle of it, because my phone rings nonstop. But anyhow, you want a Levi's shirt, 25% off does not apply. Adidas, Nike, nope. But don't you worry, it does apply to Fila. So if you're still living in the 90s in 2020 and you still rocking your Fila, at 25% off works. But any other name brand item, not so much. So you better save that 25% off for some bath towels, some forks and spoons, perhaps a bedspread, a pillowcase, anything from Kohl's that's not name brand that it applies to, but anything worth buying there that a young man such as myself. Don't laugh at that. Yes, I'm 41, but hey, 40's the new 20. So go laugh at something else, jerks. But anything a young man such as myself would want doesn't apply. So save that 25% coupon. Don't even bother with it. Give it to your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your moms, your dad, your sister, your cousins, your nieces, nephews. Anybody who shops at Kohl's for anything other than name brand apparel, because they will get more use out of it than you will, and you won't waste your time and look like a fool and get stuck paying full freight for something that you were hoping to get 25% off because you don't want to embarrass yourself by refusing to buy it after they inform you that you're not saving any money. And so you'll leave in disappointment and have to shoot dumb YouTube videos to express your disappointment because, well, you work by yourself and have no co-workers to express disappointment and dismay to. But hey, that's why I got you guys. Thank you guys so much, and bye. Hey everybody, and thanks for coming and hanging out with us for another episode of, well, in the garage, I guess. We've been back from Atlanta, Georgia for about 2 weeks. My garage is still a mess. It's not as bad as you saw it last time. We're getting a little more cleaned up, but I need your help. I need your help on one thing, and I want to give you an update on a past video I did quite a long time ago. I did it so long ago that I'm quite embarrassed to do this update, but hey, it is what it is. First things first, I need your help on some Reproduction bayonets. Here they are. They're by no means anything fancy, but the problem I'm having is with this one. For some reason, the screw popped out, and as you can see, it's not completely stripped, but it's having a little problem. And the problem is this: when I try to reassemble the hand grip, the screw is in fact not completely penetrating the nut, and no matter how much I screw it in, it does not get enough bite to screw the handle back on. And I've tried and I've tried. I've thought about taking the screw out of this one and putting it in here, because obviously this one's easier to carry during events because it's not so darn long. But I didn't want to risk taking this one out and then causing the same effect. So my question for you guys is, what type of screw is this? What's the official name? And where can I order one? Can order one that's a little longer and then cut it off with a Dremel. Obviously, going to the local hardware store, you're not going to find anything remotely close to this. So if you know what type of screw this is, where I can get one, so that I can reassemble this China-made piece of crap bayonet, I would be thrilled. And so yeah, if you know where I can get one of these, what kind of screw it is, please comment in the section below or send me an email to info@wtspworldwar2.com. Thank you. Update to the video. So I just got done shooting the video asking you guys where to get the screw for this cheap bayonet, and as I was picking it up, the handle fell off and broke on the floor. So question number 2, where can I find that screw, and where's a good place to get reproduction handles, or am I going to have to replace this whole damn thing, which I would prefer not to do, but obviously if the price of new handles costs more than a new reproduction, I will do that. But sadly this thing fell on the ground and broke, and so now I'm in more problems than I was before. So if you have any information on these bayonets, where I can find replacement reproduction handles, where I can find screws, or if I should just throw the whole damn thing in the trash, let me know. M1 Garand update. If you guys remember a while back, I posted a video, I think it's right there, called M1 Problem again. I just recently replaced the end block locking clip, which was from another video, which you can find on our page. And basically I replaced this bar here so that the end blocks lock in when I press them down, because the problem I was having is I was depressing them and they weren't locking into place. Replaced that lock. Don't worry, I still have the original, and that fixed the problem. And so then the problem I started having after that is when I was going out to events and firing blanks, every once in a while I would get a round that would cause the bolt to slam back so hard that it would dislodge from the charging handle. Here's what I mean. And so when the bolt would slam back, the thumb that connects under here was dislodging from the charging handle. And I couldn't figure out what was causing problems. Some people suggested hot ammo, some people suggested a warp operating rod, some people had no idea. And so on the way to the Georgia event last week, I got to thinking, what has changed from the time I bought my rifle to the time that this issue started occurring? Continued to buy the same ammo from the same vendor I got my blank adapter from, and so I knew that wasn't the problem. But what could cause, every time I'd go out, and this happened at the Fort Morgan event, this happened at 2 events prior to that, but what would cause this to slam back so hard that this thumb right here would get dislodged from there? So that what would happen is the charging handle would slam forward, but the bolt was still back there because this was getting dislodged from that. What was causing that to happen? That was the question. And so once again, I got to thinking, what has changed over the years? Something occurred to me, something embarrassing that I don't want to share with you, but I will, in case you're having the same issue. And here is the embarrassing thing. Every time I would finish an event, I would tear my rifle down, like we all do. I would dismantle my rifle. I would completely disassemble it. I would take the blank adapter off. I would polish all the parts, all the pieces. I would take my Korean War air barrel cleaner and I would run it up and down the barrel. Make sure it's nice and clean. I would lube it up. I would reassemble it. I would take it out to the next event. I would shoot it. Same problem. Once again, dismantle the rifle. Take the blank adapter off. Clean all the parts. Run my Korean War air rod down the barrel, reassemble, rinse, and repeat. Reassemble. You know, I really need a cameraman for some of this stuff, but anyhow. Now I have not cleaned this since the Georgia event, but reassemble. Now, how many of you were playing along when I was going through the process of what I was doing when I was cleaning my rifle and realized I missed a step? I'll give you a second to think about it. I said I would take my blank adapter off my barrel. I would run my rod down my barrel, clean up all my parts, reassemble. What I didn't say, and what I realized as I was driving to my event, the key thing that I was missing. Now, if you're paying attention, I said I would take my blank adapter off, clean my barrel. But what I realized as I was driving to the event, the thing I never did was take my aperture screw out of my blank adapter. Run my cleaning rod down my barrel while the blank adapter was still on. Thus, cleaning my blank adapter. What I realized while driving to Georgia is that the blank adapter itself was probably getting corroded. See if I can zoom in on that. Was probably getting corroded with all the black powder from my blank cartridges. Because after all, you're shooting blanks, all you're doing is sending black powder down your barrel. Nothing is happening. So I got to thinking on it. Chances are the aperture of the blank adapter itself is probably shrinking smaller and smaller due to corrosion, causing more gas to blow back, causing it to act like a hot round, putting more gas, more power into that recharge, slamming the bolt back super hard, dislodging from the charging handle, hence my problem. So, once I got to Georgia, set up my tent. Before we went out and did the tactical that day, I didn't field strip my gun, didn't even clean it. I simply removed the aperture, ran the rod down my barrel as I just demonstrated, thus cleaning the rifle barrel and the blank adapter. I then put the aperture back into the blank adapter. Went out and did a 4-hour tactical without a single problem. After the 4-hour tactical, I went out and did a 45-minute battle reenactment without a single problem. So this whole time, the last 4 events I did, where I was having this charging handle issue, and I was concerned I was going to have to buy a new operating rod, take it to a gunsmith, have him look at it, drop a bunch more money in this M1 Garand. The problem was on me. I failed. I wasn't taking care of my weapon properly. Technically I was taking care of my weapon, but I failed to take care of my blank adapter, which in this case is part of the nomenclature of the rifle for what I use it for. And so, like I said, I'm embarrassed because I overlooked something simple. So if you're watching this video because you've seen the last one and you're wondering what's wrong with my rifle, what was wrong with my rifle. I wasn't taking care of it appropriately. So make sure you remove the aperture reducer from your blank adapter when you clean your rifle. Every time you do this, you will greatly minimize wear and tear from the rifle, because I can imagine every time that charging handle slammed back and that bolt dislodged from it, caused some unnecessary damage and wear and tear to my rifle, which will probably come to bite me in the ass in a few years down the road. But as of right now, she's happy, she shoots, and we're good to go. Thank you guys so much. You know what to do. Click on the links at the end. Click on that Patreon link. Please sign up for Patreon. It's $1 a month. You'll help support the channel, help support us buying better equipment. And thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
This has been a Digital 410 production.